Hello, this is Rebecca, the Steampunk Planner, and I wanted to take you through the process of getting my ink of the month. Now, for October, I've gone a little bit overboard with decorating for Halloween with Coffee Monster Co., and I also have the colors from Sterling Ink's October Deluxe Kit month. So, that makes it difficult to figure out my ink. And especially since I have planned to do an ink of the month, literally every month, day of the month. I also have a pen that I want to review that you've already seen, but we'll go over it in a little bit. So I could just go ahead and pull out all of the colors I have that might work with this month, but then that's just going to take for a long time. So I had an idea. I will go ahead and pull out what I have already swatched in ink and take a look there at what my thoughts might be. So I know the Sterling ink is more moody colors, which is what I love, but the Halloween colors, though moody, kind of don't work also because, well, let me get the Sterling ink images. Now I have the passport size of the reusable sticker book, and I have actually put a washi from October on there, and I'm going to compare it with the different colors. Now Song of Scarlet I really wanted to use, but it's too red, it's too deep, and just going through and looking at these, I'm kind of unsure. I could go up here, but I've already done the day to night with Robert Oster. I don't want to repeat very many of my colors. I don't want to go into the blood colors. So I have other ideas that I am looking at right now. I love the orange is just way too much, but I love the yellow hay brown look of the Song of Reed, and that's probably not the right name for it, but I'll make sure. I also love the reeds or potatoes of spring. So this may actually, I have already chosen a color, but this month might be using multiple colors in the month. So the one I have chosen is Terracotta by Dimeline, and it's part of their 150th anniversary, and I think that'll work well. I have Raven already filled with the Diantramus Black Archive ink, and I do have some people who have made comments about inks to use, so I'm going to definitely research that. But right now, to be able to start working with my terracotta, I need to review a pen. I recently purchased this with some gift cards, and this is a Monteverde, and this is the Ruby Mountains fountain pen. And what's amazing with what Monteverde has done, this is part of the Mountains of the World collection, and with each of their pens, they have a card that goes into detail about why this pen was named. And this one, as I stated, is from the Ruby Mountains. This card has the history of the mountains, where they're located, why they're named that, and I am just completely impressed with how much detail goes in. I'm not surprised, honestly, because of all the detail that's going into inks, but this is a great souvenir card which will stay with my pen. And I love the fact that companies really put a lot of dedication into a background or a history of the reason why they chose the pen to be like this. Now, this pen came with a converter. It also came with one ink cartridge, but I'm going to be using the converter because I would like to fill it with my own ink, which again I've stated is the Terracotta by Dimeline. I've gone ahead and removed all of the air by twisting down the converter to do all of that. Now, I do want to share at this point in time, if you haven't seen my previous video on how I fill my pens, either with a converter or with a eyedropper, please do take a look at that. I'll have it linked, but I'm going to quickly just overview this one and what I do for a fresh, uninked pen. I actually don't wash it. Before we started, I did remove all of the dust from the outside of it, but when you wash it, you put water inside the pen, which then you deal with the dilution and overfluidness, if that's a word, of your ink. So what I showed you here was 3 times. I will twist this so the ink absorbs into the pen, and then I push it back out. And I do that 3 times, and usually on the 3rd time, I will feel the ink being drawn into the pen. And you can see here, I am drawing it into the pen very slowly. This way I don't get a lot of air capture. When I draw a pen or ink into a pen, I'm planning on using it for the entirety of that cartridge or that draw. I am not looking to only use it for a short amount of time. I also don't like to put air into my draw because that will cause issues with the ink starting and stopping because air is gotten in and it's drying the ink in the pen. Big no-no, at least for me. So what I'm doing right now is I'm completely cleaning up my fountain pen. This is an ink I use a lot, so it did make quite a mess. And I do at this moment want to share more about the nib I chose. I think the Esterbrook nib on this one, I said Esterbrook. This is a Monteverde. The nib on this is very unique, and I think it's beautiful. It looks almost like wings. I'm going to go ahead and close everything down, and I do let the pen sit for a moment before starting. A lot of people will start it immediately, but I like to let it sit and fill the nib. Now at this point, I want to let you know my nib, which is what I was talking about, is actually an Omniflex. I have mentioned in previous where you've seen the nib that it's a fine nib. It's actually an Omniplex, which means it flexes with the movement of the pen. So I can, if I don't put too much pressure on there, I can get a fine nib reaction. If I press too hard, it can go, or press really hard, I can get a medium. I can get a broad. I have Wednesday in the background acting like an idiot. I also will get a snub or a flex so that I have different ways of being able to use this nib. So it'll take a little bit of time for me to get used to it and to be able to use this more efficiently. But I'm going to use the month of October to do that as well. And I'm going to write out, this is the Monteverde, and I am using the mountains of the world. This one is, as I stated, this is the Ruby Mountains. I am going to take some time myself and go ahead and read more on the souvenir card for the Ruby Mountain. I do find that because this is an flex, which I did put fine down, but it is an omniflex, that if I write and with it twisted on the side, I do get a little bit more of a fine to medium, which works perfect. Like I said, will continue to work with this pen throughout the month. But I do feel that I will probably switch out my ink, whether it's I use this completely and I decide on a different ink for this pen. The terracotta is not a red, it's more of a red brown. So it doesn't really match the case, but I don't care. It's still in the red family as far as I'm concerned. And I'm really enjoying this pen. I actually filmed this when I first purchased the pen, and then filmed others, and now I'm finally getting a chance to get over here. Right now I'm showing you the different flex opportunities I have with my pen, and I just want to do a quick little Zentangle to see how it will work with that. I hope you don't mind that I took the advantage here of reviewing my Monteverde pen along with my ink of the month terracotta with you here. I will finish up the Zentangle and leave you here. Please stay safe, stay dry. We know areas of Florida are actually being rained on right now, and everybody's prepping for Milton. Please stay safe, take care, have a great October, and I will see you soon. Thank you for joining me.